We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Jack and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun.
Today, Jill and I, it's Jill Friday, and she's going to talk about how to make it as a female land investor. It's an interesting topic choice, Jill.
Why?
Because I really want to know this too. I want to know what the difference is between women, some of the challenges, the unique challenges. I think I speak for everybody. There are apparently unique challenges that women face to make it as an investor that I hope you just spell it out for us.
I will.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. Back in the day, it was nearly impossible to find land anywhere on the internet without a mailing address. I mean, locate the actual parcel because you're thinking about buying it. We solved this by collecting and regurgitating that 150 million unit database based on APN. So
regurgitating.
Now, all you have to do is type in the state, county, and assessors. Jill makes fun of this because she wasn't involved in manipulating 150 million units of data. So
I did too. Just kidding. I did two of them. That's what I mean. No, just kidding.
We solved it. Go to ParcelFact.com. It's simple to use and tailor-made for what we do.
Thank you. All right, Dan S. wrote, here's a success story that's a little different. I am celebrating the success I have finally had in establishing scheduled office hours for myself. Good. This is hard for people. I get it. I know I've been told over and over that keeping a schedule is crucial. This has been a challenge for me. We've been doing well enough the way I have been going, but by setting up 2 days a week of 7 hours a day, and then 3 days of 2 hours scheduled undisturbed land time, it's a little less chaotic. Thank you to my wife, who is much better at organization, for helping keep me on task. That's awesome.
Dan is, this is Dan Smart, and okay. He's a long time now Land Academy member, career path alumni, and crazy successful. And just a down-to-earth, really nice guy. So this was his Academy Award speech, I think.
Oh, that's sweet. That's really good. I love it.
All kidding aside, you have to have close the door time. Don't mess with dad time. Mm-hmm. Or mom, I guess, in the case of this episode.
Mm-hmm. And then even more, we've talked about in other shows, you have to plan out, really plan out your week. We have versions of that. And then I have this is deed signing day and this day and that day, when you're going to do your callbacks, have a set time for that. It just makes your life easier.
Closing day, research day, all of that.
Something like a due diligence time.
It's not necessarily
dedicated
days,
for
but
that.
Blocks of time.
Mm-hmm, maybe every day for an hour, it's due diligence, fill in the blank.
It took me forever to do that for myself. I went all through college and it was an absolute scheduling disaster. There was no schedule.
Got it.
It was just putting out a fire 1 minute to the next.
Got it.
Today's Jill Friday. She's going to talk about how to make it as a female land investor. This is the meat of the show. But before she does, what makes female land investors different than male land investors?
How we make decisions.
Oh, that was fast. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, that's just a no-brainer. So every man knows that. You know that. Come on. When we come to you and say, this does not feel right on my gut, we're right. Or it does. You know what I mean?
I do now.
Yeah.
At this age, but 20 years ago, I would have said, yeah.
It took me a while to convince him
something's wrong with her.
It's true. I have to say, doesn't feel right. So I want to start by saying, first of all, I'm proud. Can you think of any single couple or even, in our space that has done more transactions than we have?
No.
Okay.
No way.
So I had to get that out of the way first. That's not possible. So we know that. And I know it's funny. I found the old spreadsheet the other day because it was linked on our website, but we had to take it down because people would be like, what happened on this deal? And we're over here. We had so much
We had
information out there.
15,000 transactions with APNs and what we bought it and what we sold it
Exactly. You can download it. It's probably floating around out there because I'm sure
it
people
is.
did.
Yeah, I'm sure it
So
is.
we're like, okay, it's just like, quit asking me about February of, 2003 and that one transaction and why we didn't exactly triple our money or whatever it was. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to answer these questions anymore. So anyway, so we got that out of the way. So you know what that makes me? I'm the top female in my space. You think I'm kidding?
You're the alpha female, Jill.
Thank you.
Is that what the show's about?
Well, it's leading.
Beating your chest a little?
I just a little bit. It took me back. I just took a step back to go. Nobody can say that they have as many transactions under their belt as I do. Period. I don't really. That's it. That's a no-brainer. So
This is taking a funny turn here today.
I feel qualified to speak about this. This is my point. So there's a couple components about why female land investors should absolutely jump into this land space and can kill it and do kill it. Like my Land Academy Ladies group, talk about rock stars. And in 2023, I have some plans for you guys. It's going to be really awesome. So the first thing is, even just for every individual, not just women, getting into real estate starting in land is a very smart place to get started in real estate. We've talked about it all the time on the show. If you listen to us before, you know that, it's things I'm not having to think about. It's buying the land and selling the land. I don't have to go there. I don't have inspections. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have tenants and people have got to move out. I don't have to worry what mold might be under that floor, fill in the blank. Land is a very, very smart place to start, number one. Number two, there's a really low monetary barrier of entry in this. A lot of people can't get into real estate, especially Clubhouse. I hear people all the time like, oh, I need $180,000 to buy my first house and I'm going to rent it out with me and my buddy. That's great.
And can I play devil's advocate here or just sit here? Yeah, either.
Well, let me make my 3 points and then I'll happily answer your questions. So that's number two. And then number three, that's for any individual. But number three, this is women specific. It's a fact. It's a biological fact that, we make better business decisions and acquisition decisions. We have it in our DNA. There's things that let me just give you an example. We don't have biological testosterone driving ego decisions. We just don't. We might be more cautious. We are by nature more cautious. And then I'm going to argue we make better decisions. When a woman comes to me with a deal funding deal, I look at it very differently than I do if a man comes to me with a deal. And that interesting, because I know that by the time it got to me, she's just done more and she's looked at it differently, and I don't worry about it as much. So, ask me some questions.
I don't know how much that's really that much different than how anybody does real estate deals.
Oh,
I think this is a strange path to go down because
why? If
the show was called Man Academy.
Because come on, it's still so many men in real estate. I'm trying to push women forward and women in business and say this is a great place to start because it is.
Okay.
You don't agree with that?
I completely agree. Oh, okay. I don't understand. I've never understood ever. As a very young person, never understood why more women are not more assertive.
I agree.
And more, why don't women embrace? This is one of the things I actually really like about you. We're going to have to turn the comments off on the YouTube episode. Why?
It's going to be a lot?
Yeah.
Oh.
The entire world is trying to do away with any gender difference at all.
Well, I agree with that. So then, So why do we somehow, I think we create our own barricades for some reason. I don't know. Well, how about this? I know it's better than it was. This, used to say that's a man's world. We can't get into it. That's all different now, which I love. But there's still reasons why we are getting together as women, right? And having our own events and doing women in business and things like that. There's obviously, that's what I'm trying to, you know what? I'm trying to make that go away. And I agree with you. The more we, promote ourselves and get out there and just do what we're doing, then I think we won't have a need for that. But there's obviously still a need for that.
Mm-hmm. That's really what I'm wondering. That's actually the root of my question. Why is there continually gender-based separation?
There shouldn't be.
I agree. That's
the point.
Why is there?
So the point of this, you know what? It's for the people because it's mental. I think that there are people that still think that, as evidenced by Jill and I sitting in these two chairs for, 8 years now doing this show, I truly believe, I know this for sure, I have empirical evidence that you and I are better together than we would be separately. And that I've had multiple male business partners before you at separate points in my life. And all of those partnerships got dissolved for a bunch of reasons. And this one's not getting dissolved, you and I. And so it's very evident. You just tied in.
It's very evident and clear to me that they're way better together. And that when two people decide that they're equal, I don't care where they come from or who they are, and they work together and listen to each other and make acquisitions and sales decisions together and decide that one person's better at sales and one person's better at the technical part of it, regardless of how that plays itself out. When they realize that, then there's no need to have separation.
Well, it sounded like you just proved my point, too.
I did.
Yeah.
So that's my point, is why are there still, and I'm asking you very nicely, I don't want to argue with you, but why is there a need for Land Academy ladies?
There shouldn't be a need for it. I totally agree with you. There should not. It should just be Land Academy, newbies or Land Academy. I don't know what it is, whatever we're trying to do at that time. But I totally agree with you. I think that there's just still a little mental something in there that we don't feel we can do it. And I'm here to tell you can. Just get up and do it. I'll be right here with you. And I'll fund your deals and I'll help you.
This is Jack Truth Time on the Jill Show. Jill held a Land Academy ladies webinar for anybody who was in Land Academy and a lady for about a year, right? It was every Wednesday or something.
Right.
And so I would listen. I wasn't on the camera, not all the time, probably 4 times, maybe 3 times.
I brought you in once in a while.
And how women talk to each other is very, very different than talk to each other when it's a closed.
Yeah.
It's very different than how they talk and I'm sure this is true of men. I mean, is it true of men?
Oh gosh, yes.
How men all talk to each other when they're just by themselves?
Of course.
Is different. So the question is, to what end is all that? Like, my end is, hey, I want to have an effective partnership and make more money and do more deals.
Right.
I'm not in it. I'm not doing this because I like the process. I'm not doing it to get high off of some acquisition or that. There's a lot of reasons why people do stuff. I'm in it to make money and get to an end.
Right.
And I'm not sure what I learned out of the Land Academy ladies thing is that there's a huge process that goes on with women about every minute of the deal. And
some women.
And yeah. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that, and I'm not saying it's every woman or even 50% or whatever. But what I noticed on the Land Academy ladies discussion is that there's a lot of talking through getting to some point.
That's interesting. Well, that again is just a mental thing we got to undo. I think there's no reason why every woman can't and should do the same big deals just as fast and maybe even better than the next person. I'll just say doesn't see, gender doesn't matter. That's the whole point.
That's what
here.
I think.
So, and that's my thing, how to make as a female land investor. You know what? You take the female out of it and you just go for it. And that's it.
God, that would be terrible if I said that, though. So for some reason, it's okay that you can say that.
Because I'm a woman. I mean, is that bad? Do you think I'm going to get hate mail now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we are going to turn this. Yeah, we're going to turn the
Well, I don't want to get hate mail. I'm just trying to push. You know what? Look, I'm trying to push more women forward in whatever they want to do, not just land investing. But if you want to do in real estate, this is a great place to start.
So then, again, devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Why do women need to be pushed forward? Like, what is it why don't men need to be pushed forward?
Some do.
That's what I think.
Some do.
Now we're getting somewhere.
But you know what? I can communicate. How about this?
That.
Some do.
I think some people
that's true.
need to be pushed forward and some people don't.
Well, how about this?
We happen to be equally not those people that need to get pushed forward.
Correct.
We've put ourselves in this ringleader position, but it sometimes manifests itself through Land Academy ladies.
Look, you touched on it a minute ago when you talked about how we talk to each other. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's a lot of it. It's just how we communicate is different. We know that one. How many times this is a daily conversation in our house. Sometimes an hourly conversation in our house. Like, that came out kind of harsh. Can you reword that? Right? You know how that is.
That's not gender. That's just roommates.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's two people.
On.
Two people.
You guys talk. I think by I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like by nature, men. You guys are a little rougher on each other than we are.
Men have conflict resolution it manifests itself much differently. It's very fast and violent and acute and over.
Yeah. No, we need to come on. You know how women are. We like.
Jill, you're going to get in so much trouble talking like this.
Sorry.
You know how women are? Can you imagine if I said something like that?
I'm allowed to. You can say you know how guys are. You know how, here's an example. You know how you say, come on, guys are idiots. And I go, yeah. It's just, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I'm not talking politics and I'm not talking religion. And
that's good. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that today, so that's good.
Yeah. That's another show. So, come on. Anyway, there's this is not where I thought this show was going to go.
It's exactly where I thought it was going to go.
Because you made it go there.
I'll tell you, because Jill will release Land Academy Ladies in 2023 at some point. And it was wildly successful the first time she did it.
All the guys wanted to be in it.
Now we have a lot more members, a lot more members in general. And we have
women.
a lot more female members than we used to also, which I think is great.
And couples.
And so it will be crazy popular. I know. And couples, yeah. It'll be very popular.
Yep.
But no one, not a single person, has come to me and said, "Hey, can you do, Man Academy?" Not a single man has come to me and said, "I want to separate.
Isn't that funny?
I want to separate myself from the rest of the group, and I want to talk only with guys because I feel like men understand me more."
Well,
None of this has ever happened.
Well, why is that? But every man said, "Why can't I be in Land Academy Ladies?" I'm like, "Because you're not a lady." Why is you want to be in our group? But
I'm asking.
You want to be in our group, but you don't want to start your own group.
I have no answer for that.
Okay.
None.
That's okay.
This is a fascinating fascinating voluntary separation that goes on in Land Academy that I will never, and I don't, and if you're a psychiatrist and you're in our group, seriously, get on Discord and I would like to.
Please explain it to us.
Open a topic.
Please
explain it to us.
Here's a new thread. The new thread in Discord is like, the mind getting, how does the condition, land investing, I don't know, condition explained.
I'll tell you this, and this is a fact. This is a fact. The minute that Jill and I joined forces and she started answering the acquisition phone, we started making piles of money buying and selling land over what I used to make by myself, or when I was having, a different team handle acquisitions. Yeah. Men and women and everyone alike, for whatever reason, in my world, respond much better to a female, and that disarmament that goes on with that.
Yep.
About doing a real estate deal. much, much, much better. And I'm not talking about female real estate agents versus male real estate agents or any of that. I'm talking about, I hear Jill now all the time, oh no, I'm the owner and I own the property, or I own the company, and we do want to buy your property for that. And here's why.
So that's it. I'm like, I'm not trying to divide us more in any way.
I think the world would be a lot better off if we just said,
I don't want that.
if we all just settled on, maybe there's some innate biological differences.
That's true.
And here's the stuff that makes, men better at fill in the blank in general. Not everybody.
Like hunting.
Yeah.
You're stronger.
And here's,
Fill in the
women
blank.
are better. Look, how many female CEOs have there been in the last 20 years that just
Killed it.
Yeah, smashed it.
Exactly.
Meg Whitman completely turned around eBay. Look at Kaya Farina.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of examples over and over and over again of female-led businesses that are great.
Yeah.
So it's just, I know this is going way over in time, but I still would like an answer about why women feel a need to have their own group.
Well, we'll answer that another day. Happy you could join us today, 5 days a week. You can find us here on the Land Academy show, because this will be an hour show and it's already a 20-minute show. We're not doing that.
Join us next week for another interesting episode. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are going to get so much mail over this. I can't describe it.
Why?
We just are. This is a very, very hot topic. And unfortunately, talking about it like this makes people angry, instead of like, oh, I'm glad those guys are talking about it because it needs to be discussed a little bit. That's just what happens.
Too late. I went there. Good, bad, or otherwise, I went there.
You know what could have gone on?
What?
Is that, you could sit here and tell me about why men suck.
I could.
I
could do that next Friday.
And if I say, well, that's great, Jill, because this is why I think women suck, and then I get murdered in the street, and you get a trophy.
No, you're silly.
We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.